What's up, y'all? It's your girl Chanel from Complex Simplicity. Happy Friday. I hope that you had a great day and that you have an ultimately amazing Labor Day weekend. I know for the working folk, most are off this Monday, so enjoy. It's been a while. I normally try to do my vlogs by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday-ish of the week, early to midweek. But as you know, I started my new job at Coach and my schedule has been thrown the hell off, y'all. So I started working last Saturday and I worked straight up until Wednesday, and then I had Thursday and Friday off, and then I worked tomorrow, Sunday. So I'm getting used to this revolving schedule, so to speak, or ever circular schedule. So it threw me off with my workouts, it threw me off with my vlogging schedule. So I'm kind of like getting my bearings right now, so please bear with me. So yes, so far, just to update you on the job, things are going rather well at work. My feet are killing me though, y'all. I'm not used to standing on my feet for like 7 hours straight. Get like a 30-minute lunch break. I'm used to normally having like an hour lunch break, but it's real when you're like on your feet. So I've just been, these past 2 days I've been off, putting my feet up, resting my feet. I know I have to get me some gel-ins. I know that I have to like really invest in a really comfortable, good shoe. And but other than that, you know, the people are great. The team is amazing. My managers are great. And it seems like I'm grasping things pretty quickly, which is what I've wanted. And, you know, still learning. And crazy enough, one of my managers seems like he's kind of interested in me to like move up quicker than I thought. So we'll see what God has in store. But it definitely felt good to know that what I have shown in the few days that I've been there has stood out in some ways. So that's great. You always want to stand out from the pack, folks. But enough of the job stuff. I feel like there's been a reoccurring theme in my life this past week, and just a desire that I have had the past few months. I don't know if any of you all have taken the Meyers Briggs personality test. You definitely should. I'll leave the link below. It is really interesting. You take the test, you answer the questions honestly. It may take 20 minutes of your time, and then it gives you an analysis on what your personality type is, and just strengths, weaknesses, strengths in the dating world, things that you're looking for, weaknesses and to look out for in the dating world that you may have. It captures career, it captures parenthood, it captures a myriad of things. And what's so dope yet eerily weird is the fact that they're pretty spot on with their assessments with regards to your personality type. So this may not make sense to you now until you take the exam or the test. I am an ESFJ. I am considered the console, the provider type of personality. So like I said, I'll leave the link below so you can go on ahead and take it. And then once you take it, share your results with me so we can talk further. That'll be pretty cool. So I say that to say, my girlfriend Marquita, shout out to you, she had put me on to this particular personality test last summer around my birthday. And I took it, you know, her, myself, and another girlfriend of mine, or she had already taken it. So myself and another girlfriend, we took it, and we all were just like talking about it and comparing results. And for some reason, it's been on my mind to like really dive into it within the past few months. And for the most part, none of my friends have the same results as I, or vice versa. My husband is an ESFJ, which is what I am. My mom is an ESFJ, which is what I am. And I found that very, very, very interesting. But none of my girlfriends have scored the same score. We all have different scores. And, excuse me. A lot of times I find in life that we're often celebrating all of the similarities and the things that we have in common with our friends, with our family members, with our coworkers, right? People in church, different areas within our lives. And we tend to kind of look at the things that make us different as like, you know, where if we don't understand a different thought process, a different decision, a different perspective, it's almost like we shun it and we kind of shut down, or we look at it as something that can create space within a friendship or within a relationship. And it's been a burning desire lately on my heart, I really don't know why, to celebrate not just the similarities and the things that bond us together as friends and as family and as significant others, loved ones, right? But to also really put emphasis on celebrating all the things that make us different. From the different shows I watch on TV, to the interactions that I have with my friends, to just in general, people that I'm around, it always seems like we don't want to celebrate the differences. We almost judge the things that make us different. Like, I don't know why she does things that way. Like, that's not how I would do it. And I'm guilty of doing it as well. So as I always say, I am not above this message. But I found myself recently, or the last few months, really making an effort to celebrate the differences and to understand the differences between myself and my girlfriends, right? Understand why they may have the perspectives that they have on life in general. To understand why is it that we actually do see the world differently. And to not judge it or look at it as if it's a bad thing, even if I don't understand it, even if I don't agree with it, but to just respect the fact that we're different. And it's okay to respect the things that make us different. It's okay to celebrate the things that make us different. It's okay to appreciate the things that make us different. It brings me to last night. My husband's at work doing the night shift, and I'm home relaxing, putting them good old feet up, because my dog's been killing me, y'all. And I knew that I had to, before I went to bed, I needed to work on some dance routines because I'm working on a project with two girlfriends of mine, right? So I relaxed and did a lot of sleeping and resting yesterday, but I knew by a certain point, you got to get your shit together, Chanel, because there are things that you need to do. And so before that, I watched Braxton Family Values, and for those who are avid viewers of this particular reality show, you know that there was some type of issue with WeTV and most of the Braxtons, contractual issues where they kind of like boycotted the show or striked and didn't film. The only sister that actually did film is Tracey, and she's going through a lot of issues with her sisters right now. I guess they felt that she should have stood in uniformity or solidarity with them and boycotted the show. I don't know all of the ins and outs as far as what the discrepancies are between WeTV and them and the money and the contracts, but Tracey was like, listen, we all signed contracts. I signed a contract and I'm going to honor this contract. And she felt like her sisters, Towanda, Tony, Trina, Tamar, kind of didn't respect her decision and wanted her to kind of sway with the rest of the family. And, Tracey just dropped the album, which actually is pretty cool. I gotta give my kudos to you, Tracey. Like, do the damn thing. For once, she's kind of finally able to step out of the shadows and like shine bright like a diamond. And now that she's the only one on the reality show, they have her filming with other people, some of her friends, Phaedra Parks, who used to be on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think Lunel, the comedian, they're at some kind of wellness camp, and some other people. Natalie Nunn, who's from Bad Girls Club. So, the show has taken a different shift, and it's more so just capturing Tracey's life because she's the only one who's filming and who has agreed to film. And so I remember seeing, there was a part on the episode where Tracey, who she calls herself a duchess, right? She just became a grandmother, and her son, Kevin, just had the first great grand in the Braxton clan. And the father meaning Tracey's father, Mr. Braxton, I forgot his first name. He, I guess, is still within the church and ministry, and he wanted to christen his great grand. And so they actually ended up doing that. And then I was on Instagram, just looking through my news feed, and I saw that Towanda did a live. And in the live, she was saying, it's so sad. Watching this episode is just upsetting me. My sisters and my mother and I, we knew nothing about this christening. we found out a week before or a week after it happened from a friend. And regardless of what issues we have when it comes to the children, the grandchildren, all of that, we put our differences aside. And so she was kind of like going in a little bit about the situation. Towanda's normally the more diplomatic of the sisters. But I just found myself feeling like, y'all are all grown women, and it's almost as if this show has done more damage than good. Sure, your bank accounts are bigger. Sure, your platforms are bigger. You're able. Trina could push her bar chicks. Tony could push her music and tour. Tamar could push her music tour when she was on The Real. You know, Towanda could push her acting. Tracey could finally do her music solo career. So I get it. The show helped them with their business and entrepreneurial ventures. But when it came to the family and the sisterhood, I feel like the show just wrecked everything. They probably already had issues and then got on camera, and then things just got worse over the years. And I feel like this is a prime example of what I was initially discussing or talking about. The fact that here's a group of 5 sisters, grown women, and it's like no one can be an individual. It's like, okay, we all have to do the same thing in the sense of, all right, well, we're boycotting WeTV, so everybody should boycott WeTV. That's how I understood it to be. And why is it not respected that, okay, Tracey, I don't agree with your decision to remain filming. It's not going to be like the Braxtons, right? But you know what? It's your life, it's your decision. Godspeed with that. Like, why does it have to be where, you know, everybody has to like sway in the same direction? And, you know, Tracey said on the show, you know, one of her sisters was like, you're like dead to me. And I get the sense that that was only Tamar that said that. She wouldn't reveal which sister said that, but in my mind, I could be wrong, but that has Tamar written all over it. And so when I see these Black, beautiful women, talented women, gifted women, every time I watch the show from day one up until now, it's just like they don't get it. It's almost as if like everybody has to have this group think, this group thought, you know, and it's like nobody's individuality is really respected. Nobody venturing to do other things seems to be appreciated and celebrated. It's almost like, you know, if you don't do things the way we do things, like you're looked at as, you know. So I get where Tracey always feels like she's like the stepsister or the cousin sister, the one that's always kind of on the outs, the one that's always like 15 beats behind everybody. And so I actually respect the fact that regardless of what, I don't know the details as to what's going on with them and WeTV, I respect the fact that she's honoring her contract and that she's taking her time to do her own thing, to promote her music. And the show is really just going to be about her life. And I'm the kind of woman, I'm 35 now, thank God. I am not about that groupthink mentality. I think I've said this before. I am definitely not about the whole, you know, we only celebrate the things that make us similar and bonded to one another. I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, listen, we're friends, we're family, whatever the situation is. We may never see eye to eye with certain things, but guess what? I respect your opinion. I respect the fact that we're different and we see things differently. So we're gonna go back to yesterday. Yesterday, you know, I'm in a couple of group chats with some of my girlfriends, right? So this particular group chat I'm in with about it's probably about 4 of us, 5 of us in this chat. I sent the link to the Meyers Briggs personality test, and I said, hey ladies, I've been like obsessed with this personality test. I think it's so cool. You know, if you're down, if you're willing to, you know, take the test and then let me know your results, I'll let you know what my results are. And like, I kind of just kept it like that. Surprisingly, everybody took it like right away. And then we were just like chatting on WhatsApp or whatever, right? And so then I revealed to them why I sent that link. And I said, you know, first of all, thank you for even being down to take this exam, you know, this personality test. And I said, I did this because I want to celebrate, I want to understand my friends more. I want you all to understand me more. And I want us to be able to understand the things that bond us and make us similar, but really zone in on the things that make us different so that we can celebrate our differences more. And this way we can have a better understanding of how one another thinks and how one another is, or who one another truly is. Now, I'm not saying that this personality test is going to reveal to you hordes of things that you might have never known about your loved ones, but it does put certain things in perspective, right? And for me, you know, my girlfriends that took it, when they shared their results, it's like, that makes sense. Yes, you so are an ESTJ, or you so are an ISTJ. You know what I'm saying? Like, it made sense, right? Now I understand the certain friends that we just understand each other and get each other right away. Now I get it. Now I understand why some of the friends where we seem to have more different than in common, even though the friendship still finds its way to work. Now I understand why that is the way that is, And so it also, I think, in the moment helped us to bond a little bit more together as women. Some of us are closer than others on this group chat. And I feel like we spend a lot of time sometimes as women talking about frivolous things that really don't matter in life, but to be able to have an emotionally intelligent conversation about the things that make us who we are, and to be open-minded enough to embrace the things that make us different from one another, I thought that was pretty dope, right? And the women in my group chat, we're all 35, between the ages of 35 and 38. So we're like grown ass women, right? And it's very easy sometimes to stick with limited conversations where the content of what we're talking about is always very limited. But I feel like just something as simple as sending that link, this is going to push for our conversations to be a little bit deeper, right? Maybe for our understandings and our patience with one another to be better, right? Or maybe even this will help to open the doors for there to be further conversation about things that matter in life and mean a lot, things that may push us to be able to grow as women, right? I'm all about women banding together, groups of women as friends, sticking together, doing life together. A lot of times women refer to their core group of friends, girlfriends, as their soulmates. Like, I'm so for that, Like, I know that we still need each other. I don't care how old we get. I don't care if we're married. I don't care if we're parents, mothers. Like, you still need your core group of girlfriends. And we're here to help push each other to be our best, to do our best, to be there to support one another, to understand one another, to be real with one another. You know what I'm saying? Like, that network, that tribe, that inner circle is so needed. It's so important. And I was just glad to be able to take the first step in the right direction, with this particular group of girlfriends that I have, where we can start really getting to know each other as the adults that we are, and trying to understand each other a bit more, being more patient and less judgmental with one another, being more transparent and vulnerable with one another, and like celebrating all the things that make us uniquely different from one another. Like, I thought that was such an amazing experience, and I really didn't think anybody was going to jump to take the test. So once again, ladies, if you happen to be watching this, thank you so much for stopping what you were doing and taking that personality test and just being down for the cause, So I want to encourage you out there. Let's start celebrating the things that make us all different and uniquely who we are within our friendship groups, within our relationships, even romantic ones included. Let's stop always shunning away the things that make us different because we don't understand the differences, And as you get older, sometimes the things that initially bond us as friends change. Like, I have a core group of girlfriends where we were bonded through music, right? Our passion and love for singing and dancing. I was bonded with another group of girlfriend because of how we had a passion for analyzing and assessing behaviors, the whole psychology and like sociology of life, right? I have another group of girlfriends where we grew up together. So what bonded us initially is the fact that we've done 20 plus years of life together. So there are different things that may initially tie us together, bond us together. But as you get older, sometimes certain interests and things can change. Like, let's say the group of girlfriends I had that I sang with or music bonded us, I only rock out with one of those girlfriends where I can say, this one is my friend. Like, the other two, not so much, So it's not even enough to just focus on the things we have in common and the things that make us, similar and relatable to one another. I get that that's important. That has its place, absolutely. But as we get older, we start to evolve and grow and change. how we see things, our perspective. Sometimes some of our interest levels change. Like, what's going to keep that friendship going? At some point, in my opinion, we've got to start embracing the things that make us different. And I think, like in a marriage, my husband and I, like I said, we have the same personality results. We're ESFJs, right? However, there still are things that are different about my husband and I. There's still some things where he's stronger in certain areas or brings certain things to the table that I don't, and vice versa. And so I feel like the differences that we do have are necessary. Sorry, I was about to say are a necessity. The differences between my husband and I are just as necessary as the similarities, because that's what makes us become a balanced couple, a balanced, healthy couple. Not only do we have a common ground with certain interests and just maybe how we carry ourselves and our temperaments, we see the world in a very similar way, but then there are certain things that we disagree on, and there's certain things that we're different. We're just different, and that's great. That's fine, because it gives us more of a balanced situation. Now, if we're all carbon copies and the same, if all of my girlfriends are the same exact person that I am, then how can we grow, right? That's not fun. To me, that's boring. That's whack. Like, there needs to be some level of differences with us. God uniquely made us, I believe, different from one another. There's certain things that are unique to my personality and to who I am, and vice versa with my girlfriends. And so there should be a certain level of a balance. I think we're here to push each other to grow. It's good that some of us bring certain skills and qualities to the table of the friendship, and the other friend brings other skills and qualities to the friendship, so that this is a balanced friendship, you know? So I just wanted to, briefly talk about that. So hopefully we all start to maybe change our perspectives just a little bit, or embrace the differences in people. We all do not have to be the same. We do not have to see the world the same way. We do not have to act the same way. Like, it's okay to be different from one another, and we should be celebrating those differences. Of course, as long as whatever you're doing and how you're behaving and who you are isn't detrimental to anyone else. I always put that out there as a disclaimer, but we're talking about normal, healthy realm of we're different, right? You say tomato, I say tomato. I shouldn't force you to say tomato, and you shouldn't force me to say tomato. Okay, it is what it is. Different career paths, different qualities that we may like in significant others and life partners. Some of my girlfriends, I'm not always a fan of all of their friends, but that's your business, your life. Like, back in the day, I used to really be like, girl, don't do it. This person, they're like shady, this, that, and the third. But as I've gotten older, just because that may not be my cup of tea for a friend doesn't mean that this friendship or dynamic with my friend and this person is not a true friendship. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to have the same style with all of our friends, Once again, I will say though, but if this person is detrimental in your life, I'll always be the friend to say, hey friend, it's up to you. This is your life. I see some red flags. Be careful. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's just start celebrating the things that make us different, as well as the things that, make us common, which causes us to want to bond with one another, Sometimes I feel in certain groups of my girlfriends, it's hard for some of them to embrace that we're different, and that's okay. I think it's just a natural, easy go-to to kind of be judgy because we may not see things the same way, or we may not live our lives the same way. We're all different, and that is okay. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to come on and share that. Once again, I hope that you have a great Labor Day weekend. For those who are off, enjoy your day off. Spend time with some family, loved ones, or get you some rest. Catch a good Labor Day sale. You know how that goes. I'm actually off on Labor Day, which I'm very surprised. I just knew I had to work, but I'm off, so I'm going to enjoy some family time. Too bad my husband has to work, but I'll, visit with my parents and hopefully see my niece and nephews and my brother and his wife, and just enjoy some time kicking back with the family. I've kind of been a little MIA these past 2 weeks because, of my new job and just getting myself adjusted to my schedule and what life looks like for me at this point. But yes, so once, as I always say, thank you for rocking out with your girl. Continue to head to complexedsimplicity.com. Also, I'll leave the link below for the Meyers Briggs personality test. Comment, please let me know what your score is, and then we can talk further. Thank you so much, and until next time.